Welcome aboard. Once again, thanks for joining me here on Flying with Ryan. Today, we're going to answer one of life's biggest questions. What's to eat? Now, a lot of you might think that's a really silly thing because you simply just go to the fridge or go to the grocery store, fill up, or go to the fast food or wherever and get something to eat. But being an international pilot, that's not always super easy to do. When I was working with a regional and flying domestically, a lot of times I would meal prep when possible. So I would make food at home, freeze it, put it in my lunch bag for the trip, and head out on the road. And I'd be pretty set as far as food. For here, can't necessarily do that unless I'm traveling domestically. Now, if I'm taking off from within the United States, it's usually okay for me to go to the grocery store or something and bring some snacks or food or something to take on the plane. But you have to eat it, or you're going to be giving it to customs, or you're just going to throw it in the trash, or maybe you're going to be generous and give it to the crew who's taking the plane away from you after you land there. But for the most part, can't take food with you off the airplane. So I don't even really try. So once we get off the plane, there's where the biggest mystery happens. It really depends on what's in the hotel. This hotel in Hong Kong, I have a mini fridge that's stocked full of sodas and waters and a little bit of alcohol. So yeah, I got a fridge, I got to move some stuff around, but I do have it. They do also give me a hot pot here so I can at least heat up some water to make some instant noodles or something. That's about it. Sometimes we don't even have a fridge. Sometimes we have an entire kitchenette, which is fantastic. Because as a general rule, I will go to the grocery store to try and save a buck and get some food, and I can just cook it at my leisure in my room and then eat and watch movies or whatever it is I want to do for the rest of my night. Some more on that later of food that's on the ground. But for now, let's talk about what's in the airplane. So in the airplane, we have a microwave, we have a little toaster oven type thing, we usually have a coffee pot. Sometimes it's, we call it the ship's coffee, which means that it's using the potable water from the aircraft, or somebody will bring on a regular coffee pot, because I'm sure you've heard a lot of stories about airplane water. And yeah, I usually try and avoid it. And I usually also try and avoid just drinking coffee on the plane. Maybe I'll talk about that in a future video, but if I need to, if I'm just like hanging and falling asleep, had a terrible night before, I'm going to go ahead and drink some coffee. Now, every station that we go to, they cater us with different types of food. A lot of times there's some fruits, there's some vegetables, there's some sandwiches, and then there's some meals that we can heat up inside of either the oven or inside the microwave. Now, those meals are generally going to consist of a meat, a vegetable, and some kind of a carb. And it's either going to be beef, chicken, fish, sometimes it's shrimp, sometimes it's crab. It's not always very glamorous, but it will do the job. Some of the places that we go to do cater us with some pretty decent food. Coming out of Anchorage, maybe not so much, because I'm pretty sure when they stock the sandwiches, they just drive up past all the gas stations on the way to the airport, scoop all the sandwiches into a bin, and then throw those on the aircraft. Now, places like New York, I believe it's an actual restaurant that caters us, so we'll get these, big portions of food, and pretty good food too, like some pasta. Sometimes we'll have ribs or meatloaf or something on there, and we're pretty set for the trip. So now let's talk about my favorite meal of the day, breakfast. Of course, a lot of times for me, breakfast isn't necessarily the first meal of the day. Sometimes it's the last. Because we fly internationally and we fly overnight so much, a lot of times we'll get to the airport or we get to the hotel early in the morning as they're just about to finish serving breakfast. So for me, it's a good opportunity to get a hot meal, sit at a table that's not made out of a clipboard or in a flight deck, and eat with silverware that's not made out of plastic, drink from a cup that's not made out of paper. So it is nice for me. It's a good time to relax. A lot of times it's the end of the day. Sometimes it is actually the first meal of the day before we head out to the airplane, but irregardless, I do try and go ahead and make it down to breakfast. Now, the breakfasts in the different countries are going to be different. In America, the classic American breakfast, you're going to have your potatoes, your eggs, your meat, and then you're going to have any other kind of random stuff, like toast and bread and whatever it is. It's kind of strewn out there, fruit. And a lot of the other countries, they do have more or less that, but then they do also have their spin on it. Like Bahrain and Dubai, they had a lot of like hummus, a lot of more of the Mediterranean kind of breads and olives and cheeses and all the local type things that they eat during breakfast that are that they consider staples during breakfast. Where in like Europe, a lot of breads, a lot of cheeses, a lot of beans. I don't really like baked beans, like, baked Bush's baked beans from a can. They eat that for breakfast. I don't. I do like a classic American breakfast, but I'll do also like trying local foods where, like I said, Europe, they got some good bread out there. And I will definitely eat some bread, eat some cheese with my breakfast.
What time is it? 7:15. 7:25. When that happens.
That's chicken feet. Chicken feet? Yeah. It's so bony. How are you supposed to eat it? Got a bowl of breakfast noodles. I mean, how am I going to turn down freshly made soup like that? Looking forward to it. I must look like I don't belong because the hostess came over. Although I'm using chopsticks, I'm eating it just fine. She came over and put a fork next to me. So, thanks, but... Okay. So my first ever Belgian waffle. Or I guess just here they call them waffles. So dinner is always a big question mark, not just because we don't know where we're going to be, we also don't know when we're going to be there. We travel long legs, we travel across lots of different time zones, we travel at night, we travel during the day. So a lot of times dinner is kind of just whatever meal it is that you eat before you go to bed. Like I said, sometimes it's breakfast for where we're at locally, but if I want to go out as the sun's going down and find some food, then I'll go ahead and do that. If I got a kitchenette, then I'll go ahead and go to the grocery store and find something to cook up in the room. I got dinner. Will it be good? I have no idea. I think it's some kind of meal kit to make, it said, spicy codfish soup. So I like soup, I like fish. Let's see if they go together. I'm gonna really heavily rely on Google Translate for this one. Yeah, it's definitely good. Definitely gonna try it again. Well, heading to Fred Meyer's, as usual, going to the grocery store to find some food. Got a kitchenette, so we'll be able to cook some food up. The big question is I don't know how long I'm staying here, because I was supposed to leave around midnight tonight, and right now it's like almost 8 o'clock. And yeah, right now there's nothing on my schedule for actually the next couple days. So I really don't know how much food I'm gonna get. I can either get food for tonight, or I can get food to split up over the next couple days. The problem is I'm hungry, and the problem with going hungry shopping is that you always get way too much food than you need. So I think what the plan is, I'll get enough food for tonight, maybe a little bit for tomorrow, and in doing so, I'll accidentally buy enough food for like 3 days. I left my wallet in my hotel room. Time to eat. If I got some crew members that want to go out and have some drinks or have some food, then sure, I'll go ahead and head out with them. Sometimes with the hotels that we stay at, if you're a certain status within their report system, they do have like a lounge that you can get into. They'll have drinks in there, they'll have appetizers. Sometimes it's enough to make a full meal out of, or sometimes it's just kind of like snacks like cheese crackers, pieces of meat, charcuterie board type stuff. And the different places that we go to, some of the hotels, they're actually really good about doing that, where it is an entire meal. And then we come to the unfortunate possibility that sometimes where I just kind of don't eat, because maybe we get to wherever our destination is late at night, no stores are open. Maybe the hotel will have a little, kind of food pantry type thing where you can buy some food. But in those kind of cases, I'll usually try and eat on the plane so that I don't have to worry about food after I get off. And then I can just go to bed or stay up or wait for breakfast. And then I go ahead and have my meal for the day, or wait for stores to open or what have you. So that's a short, sweet, dirty version of it. I'm sorry, it's not super informative. Yeah, we do go to a lot of different places. Yeah, I have eaten a lot of food. I've had Chinese food in China. I've had Belgian waffles in Belgium. I've had Korean barbecue in Korea. I've had German beer in Germany. I do appreciate that I get to do that. Now, when I'm going somewhere new, I do try and go out and find something that's more of the local cuisine, especially if it's like a new overnight. I gotta get out, gotta explore. It does depend on where I'm going. It does depend on how long I'm going to be there. It does depend on maybe if I'm with a crew, someone who's been there before, somebody who's familiar, somebody who will, show me the good places to go or the places to avoid. I do try and get street food when I can. Yes, I know that is a little risky. I got some good street food in, let's see, I think it was South Korea one time. I didn't take a video of it, but it was pretty good. It was, I think it was like dried fish. It was on the stick. The guy deep fried it. And, he gave it to me. It's like a long skewer. The thing that I didn't expect, though, is, I ate it. And it's pretty good. I'm just sitting out there watching the crowd. We were in like a street market. So I ate it, and the guy indicates that he wants the stick back. So I give him the stick, and then he puts it in a pile of other used sticks that people have eaten off of. And I don't think he was holding on to him to throw him away, because he had a trash bag right next to him. So I'm pretty sure that was a reused stick. Whatever, it happens. Now, here in Guangzhou, China, that you'll see, I went to go get some street food, and it was pleasantly surprised despite how it looked. Thank you. Alright, so I got some street food, and I only got it because it looked weird. Basically, he had a bunch of stuff on skewers, and he had looked like a place to deep fry stuff, place to fry stuff in the back of his little cart. And he put some spices on it. It smells good. It looks like this. Alright. Very crunchy, crispy. Seasoning's good. Yeah, let me get a good shot. Not bad. I mean, I can taste the sticks trying to get, or not legs, legs. Feel the legs trying to get stuck between my teeth. And then I got squid. Did the same thing, put it on the fryer, seasoned it up. That's good. It's chewy. All right. I have yet to go to a country that doesn't have a McDonald's. KFC is also pretty popular. So as always, thanks for joining me. If you have any suggestions, comments, or things that you want to see on future videos, please feel free to reach out to me or leave me a message in the comment section down below, and I'll try and get around to it. So once again, thanks for flying. My name is Ryan. So, quick sidebar, and I feel like a public service announcement. I've seen people post videos of like hotel hacks on how to make food. You can make bacon on your iron, and you can make eggs and noodles in your coffee pot. Yeah, don't do that. That's gross. I don't want my coffee tasting like noodles. I don't want my shirt smelling like bacon. If you're gonna go buy raw bacon, I'm pretty sure you can find food. Alright, here's something I haven't tried before. Got this idea from Kylie, so here's to you, Kylie. I mean, okay. I can get on board. There's peanut butter, by the way. Peanut butter and carrots. Good job, kid.